people that turn out on
Because
election
it's a function of confidence in the electoral process, especially the umpires. What we must all agree is that we're no longer holding elections in this country anymore. Subsequent elections since 1999 have I'm not in any way saying that any election was good. Probably the only election I can, stick out my neck for a little bit was 1993 June 12th election that was free and fair and happened across the country peacefully. It was credible. The only place where June 12th election did happen was Ogoniland. So, but any election after that, there were elections that was held in this country. I think it was Obasanjo's second election in 2003. There were no serial numbers for the ballot papers. They forgot to put it. And when they went to court, they said, you don't need serial. No, how do you then count? So then now, we're no longer doing election. We are doing selection. INEC will just allocate votes, and we'll select, and then they announce to you. And when you want to cry out, they say, go to court. And of course, they know that they own the courts.
But maybe if people turn out, it would also be difficult
for those. That is the coalition that we are talking about, that people have to overwhelm them on that. It has to be shock and awe. But that also must happen before election. You cannot go into any election in Nigeria of today with the structures in place, the electoral processes in place, with the thugs, the security agencies all over the country, and win against established system order. You can't defeat the APC on their own terms, on their turfs. It's impossible.
APC defeated the PDP.
Because why? The PDP had split into two at that point. I told you, the APC was formed by PDP, CPC, ACN. It wasn't a coalition that was here to save Nigeria. It was a coalition that wanted to take over power from people they disagree with. And that's why we're in this mess today. But I'm saying anything that is going to do this must have something that's fresh. The agenda must be different. We must be aggressive, but we must demand, make sure that we have a clean slate before we. But if you are going to go into this election, I'll give you an example. Tinubu just appointed 11 Supreme Court justices since he came. We only need 7 of them to decide on election matters. But if the battle that needs to be fought, and I'm saying it, is fought properly, and the elections are held properly the way they hold even in India, where there are 1.7 billion people, Brazil, nobody might need to go to court because it will be so transparent. If you lose, you will accept. If you win, you will be congratulated.
So over time, you've not seen any significant improvement in the electoral process?
I have only seen and noted significant decline in the electoral process in terms of integrity, in terms of commitment, focus, transparency, and credibility. Those things are not present anymore. And you see them even when the tribunals are convening, even though if you go to the tribunal, you already know the outcome. But even some of the activities you see in the tribunal, you see clearly they will be overvoting and the judges will say it's not a problem. You see clearly situation where there were no votes and you see numbers and they will say it's not a problem. Look at all the off-season election up to Edo State. Truth is that regardless of where you sit on the side of the table, you cover the elections and you report back and say, well, we didn't see election, but somebody is declared winner. And before you could say Jack Robinson, he has a certificate of return and it's grinning from ear to ear. And then you are going to go to the tribunal with the person who is already in possession of the state's purse, treasury. He can afford to pay whomever he wants. You who probably won and was declared loser, we have to go and borrow money to fight at the tribunal. It's just, those are not elections. But what I'm saying is that look at our electoral process, what it has become. It's no longer election. I'm reiterating that it has become selection. And if Nigerians go blinded or blindfolded into another election, you will get another selection. They would have. In fact, I can tell you that the person who is going to win the election in 20 probably has been decided. And we're all just.
How could that be?
You know now, it's your man.
Who's my man?
The Tinubu. They probably decided it already.